So you mentioned Pamela Anderson. What was it like to work with her? Did you, get to experience sort of what she's come out talking about now, which is that she wanted to be a serious actor. They didn't really take her that seriously, or would give her a lot of her speaking parts were taken out because of the way she looked, essentially. Did you see that?
I haven't seen any of it. I really haven't. And gosh, what would I say about that? I would say that when Pamela came on the show, I think is when the producers really started tasting blood. It's like she was so hot that the ratings did amazing things. And the fanatics, we went from having a following to having fanatics, people that would fly across the country just to get a look at her across the yellow tape line. David was already that type of star, but she added something extra. Mm-hmm. And I think it's when the producers really became like sharks, and they began their quest of finding the next Pam. It's just pack the show with these lightning in a bottle, breathtaking beauties, and give the people what they want. They want to see this fantasy of the most incredible people. And I love him. Sweetheart. I mean, just like such a gentle and kind and delicate, wonderful person, considerate. However, she was a terrible actress. I mean, at the same time, I don't blame them for not giving her more stuff. It was almost uncomfortable to watch sometimes.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if I would have done much different.
Right. And did you
as much as I love her?
Yeah, no, I get it. And did you ever see
However,
Tommy?
look at Jason Momoa. Watch Baywatch Hawaii. Literally watch Baywatch Hawaii. Jason Momoa, terrible actor. Like, oh my gosh, and now he's incredible. So had they given her the opportunity to grow and support her craft and had her with private coaches, could that have been different? Possibly.
Right. So you never saw the documentary that came out, or the made for TV movie about the sex tape. Did you ever follow that?
No.
Okay. Well, I like that. I was going to say you were there, and I like that you know her how you know her. You don't have to watch all that.
Right.
All that stuff. So eventually you go on and decide that you want to leave Baywatch. That was your decision, not theirs. Will you tell me a little bit about what happened there?
Yeah. So, I was 18 years old, and at 17, I had met a beautiful extra who was an Idaho import, a ballerina who was gorgeous, and we fell in love. And, I started partying really hard with her. I mean, I had been drinking and doing blow and going to mansion parties and hanging out at the Playboy Mansion and stuff. I mean, 16 years old, I was doing that. 14 years old, I was doing that. But really turned a corner when I met her. She was already addicted to crystal meth. Do you know Bobby Brown?
Yes.
The model, Bobby Brown? Yeah. You guys are probably friends, right? Yeah. So Bobby Brown was taking diet pills back then, no secret. I'm not blowing her anonymity. She'll talk about that. Mm-hmm. And she shared them with, my girl. So my girl, unbeknownst to me, was addicted to crystal meth. I run out of coke, the gentleman's drug. This is a distinguished drug. This is what you do when you're cool and have money. And I do this trailer trash, stuff, because I don't have any more blow, and we're like in a strange city. And so I became addicted to that with her, and highly. And that drug just really ripped through me. I mean, it just got a hold of me. I'm naturally hyperactive, attention deficit disorder, neurodivergent, slightly autistic, even. You want to, whatever. I got stuff going on. I got a busy brain, and that stuff just boom, just put me in laser focus, man. And so I had this money, and these people wanted me and needed me. And, I'm kind of a extremist athlete mentality. Like, I loved that I didn't have to sleep. I loved that I could get my to-do list done. And, but one day I was up, I hadn't slept in 5 days, and I really needed sleep, and I had to work the next day. I was so anxiety ridden. I was like, holy shit, like I can't retain any water. I haven't eaten. I'm pale. I got to go to work. And, I showed up. I didn't get high. And, I joke around. I probably would have been better if I would have just stayed high and got through the day, but I was too weirded out to like be doing crystal meth in my trailer. Years of being on this show and having this routine and knowing how to hit my mark and show up and perform. They called me One Take Jeremy. That was my nickname. They loved me because we would just get it done and we could move through the day. And, here I am. I've lost like proper phonic pronunciation of words. My tongue's all lazy in my mouth. My brain's going faster than my body even will. And it was so embarrassing. I was mortified, and so, in that moment, due to resentments, due to feeling underpaid, due to the pressure of growing up, puberty. I mean, I was in that funky phase where I hadn't yet filled out and become strong and buff and still acne. And plus I'm on this extreme mind and mood altering drug. I'm riddled with fear and insecurity at the same time of being paranoid and delusional. I mean, can you imagine? You probably can.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. And it was soul crushing. So rather than own up to it and ask for help, I literally, when I was taken aside and asked like, dude, what's going on? This is like the 10th take. And, so, I reacted out of, I went on the offense, I went on the defense rather. I went on the defense and I told everybody to fuck off and I don't need you. And I'm sick of this and I'm fed up with this. And I walked off the set and I was happy about it. I was happy to cost them money. I felt like, it was owed to them and really downward spiral from there. Went pretty intense.
Did you have any regrets from doing that? Like the next day, did you wake up and say, oh shit, where am I going to get money from? What am I going to do next? Or that was not on your mind?
So at that time, the movie, I had $1 million offer for the guy who wrote Walk to Remember with Mandy Moore. It was a book.
Okay.
I had $1 million offer on the table and he wrote that script with me as the main character in mind. And they were like, this is yours. You don't have to audition for it. We wrote the whole deal with you as the lead. Okay. So I had, a music career at that time. I had 2 top 10 hits in Europe. So I was thinking in my mind, I was like, screw you mofos. I'm going to go make this $1 million and be a pop star. Mm-hmm. I never wanted to be the handsome beach boy. I want to sing and dance. I want to entertain. I want to, grow my craft and take these meaty roles. However, I was unable to suit up and show up for those either. Wow. And I walked away from those.
Wow. So your drug addiction was really getting the best of you and you started to choose that over your career, it sounds like.
There wasn't any choice. We'll put it that way. There wasn't any choice. There was the illusion that I would be able to stop and there would be a choice. At some point, I was going to put the plug in the jug, as they say, and put my big boy pants on. But I just couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to.
I'm curious. You said you were raised by a single mother. What was her thoughts on what was happening to you then?
Oh man. I mean, she hired, bounty hunters. Mm-hmm. She paid off friends to try to at least keep an eye on me. She would try to locate me about once a year. I would go to rehab and I would attempt to, put myself back together and get back on the horse, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But I would always fall, as I believe any real addict will without a sufficient substitute.
Right. So I'm wondering if you think that this was partly because you grew up on screen. You were part of Hollywood. You were a child actor. And do you think that had anything to do with it?
life's a mixed bag of nuts, really. I would say it'd be easier to wonder if I didn't get on TV, would I be in prison for murder? Would I have joined a gang? Would I have done a school shooting? I mean, I was in the grips of so much pain, selfishness, self-centeredness, ego, and pride. I don't know if it made it better or if it made it worse. One thing's for sure, I made enough money to really go deep and to be able to keep myself out of some really big prison sentences. Had I not had that money, would I be a product of the system? Would I be totally institutionalized by now? Maybe. So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because I was on that path far before television. I actually believe that my deep desire for approval and applause and feeling a part of life by doing a good job was one of the manifestations of that addiction before I knew that chemicals could scratch that itch.
Wow. That's really profound, actually. So
thank you.
I mean, you talk about being in prison, you talk about having these addictions. Was there something that was like a rock bottom for you where you really realized, okay, this is the end, I need to stop?
So many rock bottoms, so many huge breakthroughs. Oh my gosh, this has got to end, and totally, left by the wayside. The pain and misery, defeat, really, in my experience, is not enough to hold the line. Unfortunately, I've gone deeper after thinking I could never go deeper. And I do believe that there's deeper, of course, to go. Sadly, the hopeless moments have usually been the biggest standout hopeless moments are when there's handcuffs on me. And I'm looking at, at one time when I was 20 years old, I was looking at 35 years in prison for manufacturing methamphetamine, because from 17 to 20, when I went on my meth binge, I had been, kidnapped, held at gunpoint, robbed, conned, and manipulated, used, just in 2 years that all my money was gone. And I had to start making this stuff for myself. You know what I mean? It didn't take very long to blow through what was left. Anyway, looking at 35 years in prison at 17, my life's over. I'm 35 pounds underweight. My face is stabbed and picked. I look like Skeletor. That was my nickname. And those cuffs go on, and the cops say, "What's wrong with you, man? These are the Newport Beach police officers. I grew up in Newport Beach. These guys know me. And, what is wrong with you? What are you doing to yourself, kid?" And that was really one of the first times I realized, dude, I thought about it for a second. What is wrong with me? I should be driving a Lamborghini right now, walking off the set of Universal Studios. Like, what is wrong with me? Why would I be here in your Belinda, hiding in a house where there's this girl lives with her kid and her mom, and doing drugs? This is weird. Now that you mention it, I was like, oh my gosh, for like to get high, for like a hit, for like one more day. Like, in my mind, it was always just one more day. Like, I'm just going to do this just today. It'll be done today, or it'll be different tomorrow. So that was a huge wake up call for me. And at that point, that wake up call was really induced or even allowed to hit because I thought I was going to prison for 35 years. And what was the point of having hope? What was the point of trying to change now? Because by the time I get out of prison, I'm going to be toothless with the shit beat out of me, and I'll have swastikas on my chest. This is going to be a holy nightmare. Like, if I want to survive in there, this is okay. Well, I guess it's over. I guess that is really over now. Maybe I should take a look at it now that it's too late.
Yeah.
So, I never want to be at that it's too late place again.